Hey everyone, and welcome to a new Video Attic new release roundup where we talk about some amazing new home video releases. But as always, I am not alone in this deep dive of home video, and I have the very talented co-host Dillon.
Thanks, Michael. My name is Dillon Gonzales. I am a senior critic for GeekVibesNation.com and also a co-host of the Homedance Film Festival podcast. And once again, I am excited to be here with you to talk some really exciting releases. And one thing I'm really excited to announce is we have a Video Addict first, and that is we are hosting a giveaway for our viewers. I have a drive-in retro classic science fiction triple feature from Corinth Films. This includes the films Rocket Ship XM, The Brain from Planet Eros, and The Hideous Sun Demon. Ooh.
Yeah, now really Vanna White that thing. Really give it like the...
Ooh. Yes, okay, so here we go.
Yeah, that. So I love like the cheesy kind of like I guess they're all like 50s sci-fi movies.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Correct. Yes. 50, 58, and 59. All black and white.
Yeah, but listen, like who doesn't love a good cheesy triple feature? So y'all are gonna want to have this disc.
Yes. I mean, you have x-rays coming out of eyes, you have like floating brains. I mean, what could be better?
What more could you ask for, really?
Yes, we have 3 copies of these to give away, and all we would like you to do is please like this video and also just comment and let us know which release that we talk about today is one you're most looking forward to checking out. It's simple as that. We'll let this run probably 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll reach out to the winner in our comments section and get you some discs out. It should be fun.
And that sounds great. And
yeah.
With that, I will let you dive right into the reviews.
Thank you. Yes, my first review I'm very excited about. This is a title from the Criterion Collection from 2020, and that is, and I will say, forgive my pronunciation because I am not Nigerian and I could be saying this wrong. This is Eyimofe. This is My Desire. This is from a pair of twin directors. They are brothers. It is from Ari and Chuko Asiri. They are from Lagos, Nigeria, which is where the film takes place. So yes, it is, like I said, it's a Nigerian film. It's kind of like a dual storyline type situation. The first chunk of the movie follows a gentleman who, both of these stories are about people wanting to kind of escape their situation and like go on to bigger and better things outside of Nigeria. But then inevitably tragedy or life events get in the way and kind of like knock them down to try to like reckon with their situation. And it's not the most it's not the easiest watch, but it's also kind of life affirming in a certain way. Watching these people trying to rise out of their situation of like kind of poverty and like government suppression and just general instability in their lives. I don't want to give away what exactly like tragedies incur, but it's some really tough stuff, unfortunately. So yes, this comes with a new 2K transfer approved by the directors, and it comes with a nice fold out booklet here that I will demonstrate.
Nice.
Yes. So yeah, there's new conversations with the directors. There is interview featurette. Here, I'll show the inside without the booklet, about kind of some of the cultural commentary of the movie. It includes all three of the director's short films, and like they've been restored and they look really nice. And so it's like, especially like releases like this, it's really interesting to see the directors develop from like their earliest work and like how they've developed their voice into a feature film. So I always love that Criterion tries their best to like include any short films. I really appreciated that recently when they did that with Lynn Ramsey and their Ratcatcher release. Like some of her earlier videos were really cool. If I was to have like the best comparison for me in terms of what I've seen from Criterion recently, this most closely compares to a film called Mandabi from the 60s, which I really enjoyed and I reviewed for the site. But it's basically just like a man just like trying to make the best for himself, but the society keeps beating him down. So yeah, there's a lot of parallels. The second story I forgot to mention is about a woman with a pregnant sister who is also trying to like, she wants to go to Spain, I believe, but of course circumstances prevent that in different ways. I'm, like I said, not going to reveal the whole movie, but it's a very impactful movie. I really loved it. It's one that I look forward to revisiting again, and this Criterion release looks really nice. Like I said, the 2K transfer looks great. The 5.1 soundtrack is very nice. And yeah, great release. Eyimofe, This Is My Desire. That comes out, I believe, the 29th of April from Criterion.
Nice. So my release is a Warner Archives title, and that is Captains of the Cloud, or the Clouds rather. And
I just watched that this morning, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it was good. It's definitely not something, if you're not a big war film fan, I don't necessarily think that this is going to convert you. I will say it's very well directed. Michael Curtiz does an amazing job. As always, he brings a lot of polish and attention to detail. The cast is great. James Cagney is the lead star. And the movie that they would collaborate on together after this is a much better known film, which is Yankee Doodle Dandy, which also was released by Warner Archive. So yeah, it was okay. I think that it drug a little bit. And again, if you're not really into like war films, it really doesn't put a spin on it that necessarily makes it compelling or interesting, although again there is a lot of talent, and I think that it's like brass tacks is a well-made movie. It just didn't engage me as maybe some other like wartime films of the era.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. I guess I should not be that surprised, but I was very disappointed in like the main female character in this, because she was basically boiled down to just being like, she's a woman that like comes in and wrecks people's lives, and it's kind of like a bros before hoes mentality of just like, I need to protect my friend from this like dame who's going to ruin his life. And I'm just like, well, you could probably done something different than that, but okay. That just, it's very reductive, but like there are interesting parts to it. I just think like the script did no favors to its females in the film.
Yeah, no, that's a really good observation. I know it definitely is very it has unfortunately the gender politics of its era, and it's that kind of complicated thing of putting art into the context of its time. But Yeah, again, it was just kind of okay. Like I really think that the acting is great. But it's just, there are definitely better war films of the time that have an extra sort of layer that makes it a little bit more engaging and interesting. And if you're a Curtis fan, like it's worth checking out. As a completist, it's nice to have on Blu-ray, so I am happy about that. But yeah, I mean, it looks terrific also, by the way.
Agreed.
Like I believe it's a 2K scan, and like there's a couple like frames like the showing off the restoration there, but like yeah, it's kind of a given at this point. I mean, Warner Archive always crushes it with how it looks and sounds. So
Absolutely agree. And if you're a Cagney fan, it is worth checking out because his role, I always like seeing him away from gangster films, even though he does that so well. It's just like interesting to see him in a different mode, and he plays like kind of like the hot shot really well.
yeah.
Switching gears slightly, I have a really awesome box set from Arrow Video, and that is Vengeance Trails, 4 classic westerns. And yes, these are spaghetti westerns, Italian westerns. And this includes Massacre Time, My Name is Pecos, Bandidos, and God Said to Cain. So yeah, I'll go through these pretty quickly. I would just say, as you might guess from the title, all of these have some kind of semblance of vengeance being enacted in some form. And admittedly, some of these films are pretty similar in plot. Like Massacre Time has the great Franco Nero, fresh off of Django, coming back to a town to take it back from like a basically like evil overlord who is like subjugating people and ruining lives and all that good stuff. So basically like the classic Western trope of like running the evil forces out of town. I did like this one. I was very intrigued to watch this one because you made such a point about being a big Fulci fan, and I think this is his debut, I believe. I think I have that right. So like I know you were talking about him more in a giallo context in one of our other videos, but I was glad to see this one, and I think he did a really good job with it. It's always nice to see Franco Nero in that kind of spaghetti western mode, and it also had George Hilton, who we talked about in the case of the Scorpion's Tail on one of our giallo videos. So this one was pretty good. There's also My Name is Pecos right here, which is about a Mexican outlaw who, once again, is seeking vengeance. And here, My Name is Pecos. I thought this one was pretty entertaining. A good performance from Robert Woods, but once again, it's pretty similar in tone to all the others. Bandidos was fun. I like this one because it's basically a team up movie, because at the beginning, the main character gets maimed and injured, and he's like, he wants revenge, but he can no longer fire a gun. So he teams up with another guy who's like been wrongfully accused of a crime, and he wants to teach him basically everything he knows to take down this guy he wants vengeance upon. So it's kind of like an interesting like mentor type movie in service of revenge. And then I wasn't paying attention to who was starring in some of these movies, so I was startled to find that And God Said to Cain stars Klaus Kinski, which is wild to me because he is a maniac. And I did not expect him to show up in this, but he is surprisingly reserved, especially for Klaus Kinski. He is basically a man who is just freshly out of prison, wrongfully accused, and been in prison for like 10 years. And then he is out for vengeance to get the guy who made him end up there. And there's like ties to like the Confederacy and all that stuff. But it's fun to see Kinski in this one, but he doesn't go full maniac. So that might be disappointing to some of his fans, but overall, I really liked this four movie collection. If you're an Arrow fan, you maybe already own this, but it's a really great collection. And this is the standard edition. It doesn't have like the fancy book or anything that the limited edition does. So if that matters to you, spring for a little extra money and get the limited edition. But standard edition, also very good.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I've only seen Massacre Time, I think, so I will have to definitely check that out. So my next release is Kino Studio Classics, New Year's Evil. And here's the back. So we have a slipcover here, and it has reversible artwork. With the original.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I really like this movie. I had firmly been a fan of this ever since Scream put out a release of this, and yeah, so what's nice is it ports over everything from the Scream Factory edition over to this release. So you're getting everything, because the Scream release pretty infamously out of print and was pretty expensive, although I think that's kind of changed now with this release. But we don't get anything new as far as features go, but we do get a really nice looking 2K scan of the film. And this was one of those, I did have the luxury of kind of comparing the two releases, and I definitely feel like this one is cleaner and sharper. Obviously there's a lot of like night scenes, and the grain is a little bit heavy and inconsistent at times, but comparing the two, it definitely is a huge step up from the 2015 release. So and again, I just think it's fun. I think it's like it's the right amount of cheese. This was like 1980, so like this is actually like the exact same year as Friday the 13th. And yeah, it kind of gives you everything that you want, and it has a really interesting premise. It has a theme song that is amazing, and I miss movies that have like movie specific tie-in theme songs. But that's a whole other rant. But just to sum up, it is great. And if you're like a big 80s slasher fan, and the Scream Factory release was a little bit pricey and you missed out, this is a good opportunity. And again, it has a new updated scan. So, I think it's worth double dipping if you also have the Scream Factory release and you're like a diehard fan. So
awesome. I actually haven't seen that movie, so I probably have to seek that out and let you know what I think.
I don't know what your mileage is for 80s slasher films, but I really like them. So
I'm open to it. You reminded me, I just want to go back really quickly because I'd be remiss if I didn't say, with the Vengeance Trail set, all 4 films come with new 2K restorations of the original camera negative. They look really great. And also all the films come with audio commentaries and additional interviews with some of the cast and like new video essays. So just I got so wrapped up in Klaus Kinski that I forgot to actually mention the technical merits. So yes, But I do have a new title that I would like to talk about. Well, it's a new title of a very old content, and that is The Little Rascals, Volume 5, the Classic Flicks Restorations, which anyone who follows our channel this won't be any new thing for them. I've featured the first 4 volumes in a different video, but I really love this volume that covers 12 new shorts, 12 shorts from 1935 to 1936. And this, you get all the rundown in here, and that is the disc art, and it's the same underneath of the disc. This collection is notable because it's the introduction of the fan favorite Alfalfa. So our gang or Little Rascals fans, that they'll be very excited about his appearance. And you also get to get introduced to his love interest, Darla. So that dynamic is established. And one of my favorite shorts of this collection, and that is the Our Gang Follies of 1936, because it's basically a send up of stuff that we've talked about in the past, like Gold Diggers of 1933, and the glitz and glam of the singing and dancing era of the 1930s. So that's a fun send up. The Little Rascals are always getting into different fun situations, and these are all from a new restoration. They've cleaned up the original elements like immensely. There's still some age wear and tear to it, but compared to, there's like a restoration comparison on this disc, and if you look to what they originally had to what they have now, it's like a night and day difference. And like these shorts, they weren't very well taken care of. These come from the original like Hal Roach elements, and they have not been taken care of. So this was like an immense preservation project to keep intact, like a very key like part of our cinematic history. So I'm so grateful to Classic Flicks. Like I said, this is a great release. It has 12 shorts. I believe there's one more volume coming out to like complete the run that they're like kind of going for, which comes out, I believe, in May or June. So it's like right around the corner. You'll be able to have all 6, I believe, volumes. If I'm wrong, I will update that later. But if you're a Little Rascals fan, or just like more interested in getting to know like kind of like the early short films like that like shaped society basically, highly recommend The Little Rascals Volume 5.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I know that I haven't really seen a lot of those, but I'm definitely know of them. I know like the 90s remake was pretty popular, I guess, for our generation.
Absolutely.
So my next title is another Kino Studio Classics title, and that is Tentacles.
Ooh, I like that cover.
1977. Yep. Slipcover, and features reversible artwork. Yeah, I am a big fan of like Jaws ripoff movies. I mean, I'm fascinated with ripoff movies in general, but like particularly like the Nature Run Amok movies in the wake of Jaws, and it's pretty fun. It's a bit dull in places. It's from the director of one of my favorite Exorcist knockoffs called Beyond the Door. And it has wonderfully strange lines. Like, to give some context, this is a kid talking to his mom, but he's like, "Mama, you're not plump. It's just there's more of you to love." You get just weird dialogue like that like This is like an Italian production, but they hired a lot of American actors, and yeah, but it's fun, and it doesn't have really a lot of features. It just has a trailer and a radio spot. But if you really like the kind of Jaws knockoffs, and I know a lot of people do, so it's nice to kind of have that. Looking really nice. I mean, it looks way better than I feel like it has any right to. Like there's a lot of really gorgeous outdoor locales that really benefit, I think, from this upgrade. So if you kind of like the cheesy nature run amok kind of movies, you know, Kino's got you covered. So check it out.
Awesome. I will say, like, I recently watched another nature run amok video, and that is Alligator, which I did a video for the channel, and I love that. So even if it's not to that level, I'm a really big fan of like squid and octopi. So I would just be intrigued to see what this looks like, even if it's bad. So I'll watch it. So I switching gears once again, a more modern film. One that just recently came out is the Korean sci-fi action film Spiritwalker from Welgo, USA, which was a lot of fun. Basically, the premise of this one is a man wakes up from like you meet him in like the midst of like a car crash, and he wakes up and he is in a state where he is every 12 hours, his like consciousness is jumping into a new body, and he's like trying to solve, like he's trying to get used to his situation and also kind of solve this like kind of crime and like take down this guy who has wronged him. So it's like a revenge tale through like sci-fi like techniques and stuff, with a lot of like really cool action. So yeah, this one, there's not a lot to really say about it. It goes, it flows really nicely. It doesn't really overstay its welcome. If you want like kind of like some nice like hard hitting action with like some interesting like themes, and like seeing people almost get to their destination right before like the 12th hour hits, and they're like suddenly in a new body. Like it's like very like tense throughout. And I also heard that this has been like option for a possible American remake. So be on guard for that. But if you want to get in on the ground floor, Spiritwalker itself is a really fun movie. Read the Korean subtitles. It's fine. You'll get through. Subtitles are fine. Has a nice 5.1 soundtrack. Doesn't have much in the way of special features. It has like a brief making of and like a trailer. And yeah, the video looks pretty nice. There's not too much like compression artifacts or anything like that. It's just a nice, solid release for action / sci-fi fans. So I recommend it. It's a good time.
Cool. Yeah, that's another one that's was not on my radar that I'll definitely have to check that out. And my next title is one that's a little more high profile, and that is the new Scream movie on 4K. It's got a lot of really nice new features. I love commentaries. So this has a commentary, this has deleted scenes, behind the scenes, a little featurette about Wes Craven, which is really nice. So this is the slipcover. No reversible art. It does come with a digital code that's not in there right now, but when you get it, yours will be there. So I'm not going to go into a big review because I have a video coming up where I talk to Michael Keene of Screen Rant. We kind of talk about the movie in depth. So that should be coming very soon. But you know, I liked it. I'll say that I really liked it. I thought it was really good. And you know, you have to subscribe and check out the video whenever it comes out to get my full like in-depth review. But that's my very short answer. Is
It
thumbs
is good.
up.
All right, that's a masterful tease, Michael. Good job. Keep people coming back. Let's do it. A movie that I caught over the weekend that is a really unique experience, I believe, is Zoot Suit by Louis Valdez, who people might know from his work making La Bamba, which is a movie I really like with Lou Diamond Phillips. And this one, it's about the Zoot Suit riots of the 1940s. And what really took me off, I didn't really know a lot about this movie besides it has Edward James Olmos, and that's enough to make me watch pretty much anything. And yes, this does have reversible cover art that I will show off. This, I think, I believe is based on a stage play, or if not, they've turned it into a stage play, because the movie starts out with Edward James Olmos like out of character, just being like basically asking the audience, and there's like a legit audience featured in the movie, saying like, hey, just give yourself over to the artifice of what this film is. And like basically it's kind of not like magical realism, but you just kind of believe, like, you see people like on stage like going from one room to another, and it's like suddenly like they're in like their bedroom and it's going to like a police station. So it's like it's not a filmed stage production, but they incorporate theatrical elements into this film. And the film itself is about like a young man played by Daniel Valdez, who I think is Louis' brother. And he is like one of like a group of people who get mixed up unfairly into, they get implemented into this crime, and they're trying to get exonerated and like prove their innocence. And throughout, Edward James Olmos is playing like kind of like this mystical figure, kind of like this devil on your shoulder type figure, who's like urging him to like make bad decisions and like be like a real like man, basically. So it's like a really interesting dynamic, and like it's really a really powerful movie of just like it's like really for Latinx people. I think this is like a really like landmark film of just like the racial tensions that were going on, and like the class disparity, and it's just really inventively filmed. It's also like a musical. I forgot to mention that there's like music in it throughout, so it's like really cool music and just great performances. So like if this interests you even in the slightest, it's a really great movie. It's like I had not really heard of this before, but just knowing the talent, I checked it out and I loved it. And it has a new commentary from film historian Daniel Kramer, and it has a new interview with director Louis Valdez. So definitely highly recommended. I dropped the slipcover, so I'll get that in a second, but that comes with it if you order like fairly soon into the run. Yeah, highly recommended. Zoot Suit. It's a fun
time. So jumping right in, my next title is RoboCop on 4K.
Hell yeah.
And this is the Steelbook edition. They do have a regular like with the case, and that I think comes with a poster and lobby cards, I think. So this has a booklet, and I'll show you inside and the back. And I mean, this is really, really gorgeous looking. So this does have the director's cut and the theatrical cut, both on 4K. and the price point for the Steelbook is a little bit less, because I think, again, you don't get you get technically a little bit more with the like the hard case edition, but this is the edition that I got, and I really like it, and I think that it's pretty snazzy. And again, if you're wanting the edition slightly cheaper, but with the discs and the booklet, the Steelbook is the way to go. I mean, I'm not going to go into the movie. I mean, it's been talked about so much, but just to say that it's maybe one of the greatest satirical movies of the 1980s. Not to mention just being like a really awesome action film. So yeah, it's everything that you would want. The picture's amazing looking. You can definitely tell that the detail's sharper. Like the grain's a little bit heavy, but you know, you're talking about an older film. You know, but it has that nice like film like quality with the grain, but it's not like overly heavy though. You know, it sounds great. It's really, I think, like probably the definitive version of the film. Like, unless they invent like 8K or something, I don't think you're going to get any better for a while. So
Excellent. I definitely need that one because I'm still rocking RoboCop on DVD. I believe I have a copy back here somewhere of like the trilogy on DVD, so I need to upgrade immediately.
yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. My next film is the Irving Berlin musical Blue Skies with Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby and Joan Caulfield. I got, this isn't the first time I said I've become more of a musical fan over the past couple of years, and this one I quite enjoyed. You get to see Fred Astaire doing his like signature tapping, and there's a lot of really great dance numbers. The plot itself isn't going to set the like the world on fire, but it's basically kind of like a love triangle between these three. And one of them has like kind of like has an issue with like staying still. He's like constantly on the move, and like he's like buying up nightclubs and like seemingly establishing roots before like upending everyone else's life by like selling it off and like going off to another adventure. So it's like kind of like instability versus like alcoholism on the other side, and it's just like kind of like a weird dynamic. But overall, the story, it's interesting enough, but I think you really come to this for like the dancing, like the dance sequences, and there's some nice like tunes from Bing Crosby. I think all three of them have a really nice dynamic together, and it's very much worth a watch. This one comes with a new 2K master. It looks really good. I will say, I have to note, unfortunately, that there is a audio error on this disc, and I think it's even not available to buy right now, but Kino Classics is aware of this, and they are already setting up a replacement program. So if you've already gotten this in, make sure to visit their website or Google it. They have set up a replacement program, or if not, once it is out, it will be corrected, and it's very much a disc worth owning. The audio error is the actual like tap track where you can hear like Fred Astaire, like the taps like forcefully, is not there. You can just kind of hear it kind of like, it's like off in the distance almost. So that's an unfortunate oversight, but they are correcting it, so it's okay. You'll just have to wait a little bit longer, but there is also an audio commentary that is very much worth a watch. And if you're just a fan of like Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire, if you want to see them reunited after Holiday Inn, this is very entertaining and it's worth a watch. And so like Kino Classics, keep doing what you're doing, and pick it up.
All right, sounds good. My next title is an Arrow title, and that is the 8 Diagram Pole Fighter.
Oh, cool.
And this is a slipcover, another Shaw Brothers film, has reversible art, and comes with a booklet. Here's the booklet. And this is another film that I really did not know a lot about until diving into the disc, but it's a really pretty epic action film. It definitely has a lot of great characters. It's not as maybe silly as some of the other Shaw Brothers films that we've covered in the past. The lead actor actually tragically passed away before finishing the film.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so there's definitely an undercurrent of kind of sadness about that. But, as always, Kino does a really good job of doing a lot of historical context features, which is a really good primer for jumping into this movie. So I love that we're getting more Shaw Brothers films, especially stuff that is the highest of caliber. I highly recommend it. It's really fun.
Awesome. I've been on a Shaw Brothers kick recently, as people know who watch our channel. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Just keep the train rolling. My final title is another Kino Classics title, and that is Now and Forever from director Henry Hathaway. And this stars one of my more recent favorites, Gary Cooper and Carol Lombard and a young Shirley Temple. Gary Cooper in this one, he plays kind of like a hustler type guy who you see him at the beginning kind of like hustling around with his like girl, trying to like get free hotel stays and all this type of stuff, until he gets word that he has a daughter back in America, and there's a rich family who kind of wants to take over her parenting. They've already been like in her care, but they want to officially adopt her. And he views this as like a potential chance to like basically extort them for money, and like try to be like, if you really want to adopt her, maybe you'll give me this much money. But then he sees a cute little Shirley Temple and his heart kind of melts, and he decides that he wants to like give it a go at being her dad in earnest. And that is mixed results are yielded from that, because he is who he is and he's not like the most up and up fellow, but he does want to provide the best life for her. So it's like this struggle throughout of like him wrestling with his like innate nature of like being kind of like a hustler and like a nefarious fellow, with trying to be like a new dad who really loves his kid now and like is getting to know her and doesn't want to disappoint her, but he's like constantly running low on money, and he's being tempted to possibly like give up his rights for money, and he's struggling on what's best for her. And it's a very engaging movie. I found it very heartfelt. There's like a bittersweet quality to it. And it's, if you're a classic film fan, if you're a Gary Cooper fan, if you're a Carol Lombard fan, I recommend it. This comes with a new 2K master, no audio errors from what I can tell, a new audio commentary with Lee Gambin and costume historian Alyssa Rose, which is basically the same pairing that I had last week with Backstreet. So you get to learn a lot about like the costumes of the time as well. And yeah, this the transfer, you can still tell there's a little bit of like age to the transfer, but it looks really nice with the 2K master. And yeah, it's a really good release from Kino Classics.
Great. Yeah, that sounds really awesome. I yet again, it's another one that I haven't seen yet or even heard of, but it is definitely enticing. So my final film is actually not a film, it is a book. I just wanted to mix it up. This is a fairly new release from TCM, Scott McGee's Danger on the Silver Screen.
Nice.
And it is a really nice book. I'll show you a little bit of the inside. I can definitely tell you that somebody that has had a book published, it is really hard to find a publishing outfit that can reproduce really nice photos like this. Like how like excellent they look. It's something that I feel like we take for granted, but you know, there's definitely publishers where it definitely is spotty sometimes of like how the photos look, but they're excellent. It's well written, it's really interesting. This took me a little while to get through, but it was a really fun read. I mean, it's I will show you the table of contents here. Yeah, I highly recommend this. It's a great book. It was a really fun read. And I don't know what else to say. It's fun. It was you know, there's a lot of times when you know, I'm kind of like movied out, but I still want to really absorb movie stuff. So like being able to switch off and pick this up was really nice. So very much recommend it.
Yeah, it's good to remind people that we know how to read. Like, we're not just movie lovers. We can do other things.
We're not just pretty faces.
We can read about movies.
Yeah, so I with that, you know, that is all we have today, but certainly if you enjoyed this, definitely consider giving us a like, subscribe and comment. Yeah, and don't forget about the amazing giveaway. And just thank you for hanging out with us. And until next time.